Hello everybody, my name's Jeff. As you can see from some of our other videos, we like to go on nature trail hikes. Most of them are located in the Florida wetlands, the Florida state parks, Florida reserves, and some of our county parks. Today we will be going on Eko Walk Trail. It's about, according to Google and according to the maps here, it's about 2.1 miles. And we might see an alligator on this trail. I just talked to some people who came off of the trail, said they saw one. So hopefully we'll get to see one, and we'll try and get him in the video for you. Please tell your friends about us. Please tell us about places that you would like to go, other places you would like us to explore. And go along this hike with us. We'll do this walkthrough and let us know what you think. Leave the comments in the comment section. And suggestions and ideas are always greatly appreciated. It's a beautiful day out here. It's got to be in the 70s. Hardly any wind. If there is any wind noise, I apologize for that. I'm doing the best we can with what we have. Let's see how it goes. Okay, if we look over here, this is the bulletin board at the trailhead. Great for birding. So you can see, like I said, this is called Eko Walk Trail. It's a 2-mile hiking loop. We might see pine, flatwoods, scattered oaks, wetland communities, pasture area. Birds, all different types of birds, snakes. This, I don't know how good y'all can see it, but this is a map of the loop, and there is areas on there. We have the pine woods, we have the hammock, the fork in the road, hardwood swamp, the knoll, turtle pond, sable palm oasis, the spring. This walk is located in Crystal River, only about a block in off of US 19 on Old Tallahassee Road. Let's go and see what we find today. Actually feels great out here.
Oh, yes, it does.
So this trail's nicer than the one we were on the other day. It's like walking across a mowed yard almost. Whoever takes care of the trail and mows the trail does a nice job with it. That's one of the nice things about our nice little country town down here is our county and state workers take a lot of pride in their job and make our places look nice.
There's a sign.
Flatwoods Restoration Area. It says this area is being converted from Bahia pasture grass to a mix of native flatwood species. Out here in Florida, we have a lot of huge older oak trees. There's my wife, everybody. She likes going on trails with us. If you was walking the trail and wanted some shade for a minute, this would be a good spot. Big old oak trees and providing a lot of shade. Huh. Wonder how long this trail will take us to walk. Says it was like 2.1 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Like those people said, we have to watch for snakes.
Yeah.
I mean, we are out in the woods. There's probably several hundred acres of pretty much untouched woods here. Still got to say, this is a very clean trail here. I haven't seen any trash or haven't seen any vandalism. Which is good. There's only enough places for maybe, I'd probably say 6 or 8 cars to park here. We got here, there was 2 other vehicles here, and as we started, another group was leaving, so there's however many fit in the one other vehicle that's here is probably all that's out here with us, and haven't seen them so far. Must be some lizards or something over there. Careful, it's a little wet and slippery there. Well, this is nice. It's like walking under a tunnel of trees. Here we have a bench. Nice bench located on the corner of a trail. Well, on the corner where the trail turns. It was donated by the Boy Scout Eagle Project, Troop 442. Oh, look at that. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there's a pond in there. Sure would be nice to see a little gator in there, or a snake, or see some fish jump. We'll just have to see. Lots of marshland out here. Look at the size of that frog out there. See the frog sitting out there on that piece of tree branch? I wonder if there's where this is seen. Oh, well, look. There he is right there. See him?
No.
You don't see the alligator right there?
No.
Look straight out where I'm facing the camera. See him? There's even a shape in the, on the top of the water there of him. See him now?
Yeah.
He's probably about 4, maybe 5 feet long.
Can you see him in your video?
I can't really tell. Wow. He's right there. He's just laying there. He ain't really moving much. See if I can make him move any. Let's see. He's just laying there getting him some sun. Have to see. Well, I don't know if y'all could have seen him in the camera, but he's right there, right in about the middle of view there. He's just laying there in the water, but it's hard to tell. Well, we're going to head on here. It's another bench sitting area over here. Maybe we can get a better view of him over here. He's there, he's just laying in the marsh. He's not doing a whole lot. And he's right there too. Can you see the outline of him there? Probably about an inch or two of him sticking up out of the water. You kind of get an idea how long he is. You see him?
I think so.
See where the water is kind of open up where you can see the water clear at the top?
Yeah.
That's where he's sitting at right there. He's kind of sitting out this way. Yeah. I'm sure some people probably come by out here and feed him, even though you're not supposed to. We're not going to feed him. We try to follow rules.
I think I got it.
Maybe there'll be some more wet marsh out here and we'll be able to see him. Or, well, not him, but another one. Wet area here, kind of like a little walkover. Some water here. It's kind of like a little creek. It doesn't say on the maps the name of the creek or how far it goes, but it just looks ongoing. Probably about a foot deep in the deepest part. I like it out here. You can get away from town, back in touch with nature. Trails is a nice hobby. There doesn't cost a lot. Looks like we probably have a turtle lives up underneath that big rock there. My wife really loves nature. She's out behind me taking pictures of different things. Well, I got to say, now that there is a pretty big piece of wood. Why don't you go stand over there by it so everybody can see how, just get an idea how big that is in comparison to you there. That is a big piece of fallen wood.
Can you see me?
Yep.
Hey everyone.
That's, gosh, that's gotta be maybe 12, 14 foot long and probably a good 4.5 foot high. Been there a long time too. A neat place to get people like to come and take pictures of. It'd be a neat background. little bit of an opening in the woods there. I don't know if y'all can tell it in these videos, but these are openings like trails. If you see the little dip in the grass where it's been pushed down. According to the bulletin board down there, a lot of deer and wild boar, raccoons, all sorts of animals walk through here. I kind of doubt we'll see any deer out here during the day because we're probably making too much noise for that, but well, these woods just look never ending no matter which direction you look. Still a nice trail. It's been left alone and maintained pretty good. It looks like they've really only, they tried to make sure the walking trail was nice, and so far it seems like most of what's out here to look at is, untouched as it should be. Now, one thing I have noticed here, though, is I haven't seen any, like a marker yet that says, you walked a quarter mile or you walked a half mile or this is the halfway point or anything like that. I guess we're only 2 miles. Maybe a mile marker doesn't make a lot of sense. I know that something has crawled all through here. The ground's kind of wet and marshy, soggy in places. All the wild boar love this area. They can tell they've been rooting it up. Watch how you step. It is kind of soft and slippery in there. Pine straw gets really slippery when it's wet too, and you get it in mud. It's just not a good mix. Okay, right after I mentioned mile markers, so far everybody, we've gone half a mile. And there's a bench here. We're going to keep going. We're going to do the entire trail for y'all. Yes, there is mile markers. A lot of wet marshland out here. Right in here, I imagine when it rains, the water would be up over the trail here. So if you plan to come and see this beautiful trail, I wouldn't come a day or two right after it rained. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is all wild boar rooting. Wild boar, wild animals. You can see all the footprints from the different animals. Big hole there. I mean, they have rooted all this up good. Imagine looking for food or burying food for later. Trying to dig down to the cool sand, kind of like a dog does. No telling. Hogs like the root. Oh, that's a whole little, like a little creek there too. Careful, it's all slick right here. All this right here is probably underwater every time it rains because it's already wet. The water wouldn't have anywhere else to go but keep coming up. Mush, mush. And please remember, if you and your friends or your family decide to go on any of these trails, please don't leave any trash. So other people like to see the trail look as nice and clean as this is. I mean, we've passed a half a mile already, and I haven't seen not one soda can, not one food wrapper, not any kind of trash whatsoever. Very well kept, and must be mostly respectable people. Well, there is a road here. This must be an access road. But there's a little arrow there. This says keep going this way, so that's the way we'll go. I wonder if there's anything in there. Another good alligator habitat. Some type of bird over there, but he's in an area where I can't see him too good to see what kind he is. I just watched him land and watch a big branch move around. But there's a good chance that there's some hawks out here, and some owls, and maybe some other tropical birds that are native to Florida. Like a big old mess of vines there. I tell you, all this marshland out here on the sides, I know I got to be more than one alligator out here. It's prime living for him. Nice, never-ending food supply. Looking and keep an eye in there in that marshland. Let me know if you see anything out there. Here's some little finches. I think that's what those little birds are called. Here's an area where they've had to fill it in because it gets so low and so wet. This marshland's been running alongside most of the trail here. Definitely prime alligator territory. Y'all can see that, but I mean, it's like a little pond in there. Here's another bench. So there is places to sit and rest along the way. If, you know, for those of you that can't walk 2 miles constant, there is places to sit and take a breather or drink of water. Or it's real soft in here, so watch how you step. Definitely don't want to come out here after a recent rain. That is becoming extremely obvious. And in Florida, that could be every day. So you just have to watch, see that it hasn't rained in 2 or 3 days, and then bring the family out and enjoy the trail. Now we're back to a shady area. This is nice. That's really nice. If you're a bird watcher, the sign out front said that this is one of the better trails in Central Florida for bird watching, and real popular because of that. Animals been rooting up all through there. Huh? Oh, it's a branch. We got so many snakes down here, different things look like one. If you see something like that and it moves, let me know. Animals been rooting stuff up out here a lot. See a lot of trails, wild hog, boar, deer, raccoon, possum. Looks like this gets pretty wet right here. Well, the way the sides of this trail is all, and these woods are all dug into. They should rename this Wild Boar Trail. There is some nice views. For those of you that like the woods and like to see Florida at some of its best as far as woods and wilderness go, this is definitely a have-to-see trail, or must-see trail. It's an easy hike. This is a trail you can bring the kids on. Yeah. Difficulties at beginner, I would say. Maybe a little bit above beginner because it is 2 miles long. Not much. Not much above beginner. But it is nice out here. Sign out front says no horseback riding. I imagine that's going to be a common rule amongst most of these state parks. Little opening there. Here we have a little wooden bridge. Probably just goes over because when it rains, I imagine there's a little creek runs through here. Another area where they've had to lift it up with some rock and dirt so that it can be walked on easier. Oh, but for those of you that are worried about the COVID and any of its new levels of viruses coming out. This is a nice thing, a nice place you can go with you and your family, and you won't be around a lot of people or nothing like that. Very low risk, you know, and it's enjoyable. There's no entry fee. You just park and come in. There is a sign-in board at the front of the trail, you know, that way, you know, you get hurt out here or something and your vehicle's still in the parking lot, they need to know who's out here, and that lets the rangers know to come out here. Here's another bench. Eko Walk bench. We'd like to put a big shout out and a thank you to the Boy Scout Eagle Project, Troop 442, for putting out all the nice benches here at Eko Walk Trail. I'm sure there's been people walk through here and have sat on them and greatly appreciated they were made. So now, as you can tell, something was walking through there recently. See a little trail? A little indent in the grass. Something walked through there. They'll walk through there too. I mean, out here, I mean, other than somebody like us walking through, they could be 50 foot in the woods and standing there looking at us, you know. Some pretty big lime rock in there. I don't know if y'all can see that. Some pretty big pieces of piled up lime rock there, probably almost the size of my truck. You know, this is good exercise. It's amazing more people don't do it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this here is our next mile marker. Says we have hit 1 mile. And seeing as how this is like a 2, or some of the signs say 2.1 miles, I'd say this is our halfway mark. And we have another bench here. Guess somebody'd see that sign and say, wow, I've already walked a whole mile. I think I'm going to sit here for a while and hope somebody comes to get me. We're going to go further though. In case you're wondering, other than one time for a minute my wife sat on the bench to get it in the video, other than that we haven't sat on any of the benches. But that doesn't mean you can't. They're there. That's a pretty big oak tree there. It's probably what's creating most of this shade. I wish I could see some of the wild boar that was making all these tracks, but I wouldn't be able to see it because all I'd see is a blur of my wife running back up the trail when she's seen it. Y'all know I'd have to get that on video. There'd be a blur going behind me, and probably in about 30 seconds you'd never see anybody move a mile so fast she'd be back in the truck with the doors locked. There's a little humor, people. A little bit of an opening area there. And just take and build my house right back over there in the corner. Close the gate up front. Have groceries and supplies delivered once a month. I'd be happy. I'd like to own some property like this. I would just clear out just enough to get me a home in there and leave the rest of it untouched like this, and just enjoy walking around on my own property. I'll probably have some trails in it like this, but maybe one day. That's a wild looking tree there. Look at this. It just comes out of the ground. Hold on. It comes out of the ground and goes every which way but up. Ain't that something? Comes out, looks like a spider turned upside down. Yeah. Nice tree there. Is that a maple? Forget what kind of tree it is. It has them kind of leaves on it. It's a pretty tree though. Yeah. Nice little open area over there, really sunny. This is nice, relaxing, peaceful. Man, I'm just content out here right now. You couldn't get this anywhere in the city. Look at that. I have this less than 8 miles from home. This is nature is as beautiful as it gets. There's a trail there, see it? Something walked through there. This is just a little, if you see, it's a loop around the tree here. And on this side, there's a bench if you wanted to stop and let other people walk by. In case you didn't want to be seen resting. Or just a place to sit and contemplate. Maybe you sit there and wait till everybody goes by and it's dead quiet and just listen to nature, birds, you know, lizards, stuff crawling around. Pretty neat here, got a big tree branch hanging over the trail. Boy, look at all the vines on that tree. And they are just everywhere. It's a nice piece of driftwood right there. Want a snake enclosure? That'd be amazing. I see a snake wrapped around it out here. Did see a snake, most likely we could see a what they call a Florida black snake, or black racer, or Maybe a coral snake or king snake, rack snake. Here's another bench. Little seating area just right off the side of the trail. Wow, the benches are getting closer together. Some post up here, that must mean a way that we ain't supposed to go. I wonder if sometimes birds stand up on there, or maybe there used to be a sign. There was some rope on it at one time. I think somebody started taking them poles out. Either that or they just dug and put them in, but there ain't no dirt here. Who knows? Might be putting in a big bird watching something or other there. Maybe like a big poster board with pictures and the actual names of all the different birds that you can possibly see out here. Watch out right here. This is real soft in here. Looks like a tree fell down and they cut it up to get it off of the trail for us. Like, can you imagine walking through here like while it was raining?
Yeah.
Huh?
No.
Well, you'd be a different color when you come out. You'd be the color of this mud down here. You probably done fell in a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is soft. Still clean though, you know. There's no trash on the ground or anything. It's still nice. This is nature here. I mean, you had no way of controlling that unless you wanted to pave it. But if you put pavement or gravel through here, or anything more than just keeping this trail beat down, in my opinion, it would take a lot away from it. Keep it as natural as possible. It's a couple more of them posts, maybe. There's only two here. I would imagine that this was going to be a sign at some point. Either a sign or maybe a gate. Big old opening way down there. Yeah. Got roots and stuff coming out of the ground here. You gotta trip over that.
Yeah.
They're all coming out of this tree. It's another little bridge. It must be really soft under that bridge or they wouldn't have put it here. Big roots right here coming off the end of the trail. A lot of marshland. Yeah, I wonder. I never even thought about it. You know, I wonder how long the trail has to be before they have a sign in at the trailhead. I've been on trails that were, you know, a quarter mile, 3/4 of a mile, half a mile, and there wasn't no sign-in sheet. This one, about 2 to 2.1 miles, it has a sign-in board at the trailhead. I wonder. Okay, here we go. We have another milestone marker here. We have mile 1.5. Means we have roughly a half a mile to 6/10 of a mile left. Y'all see the bird? We spooked him out of there, didn't we? Nice little shady and open area here. Well, this is nice. Look at all that tree coverage up there. It's just making it just right. Here we have another seating area. You know, another word that describes out here, that would be tranquil. A little bit of a breeze, but it feels good out here. Oh. Some birds up in that tree. You can see when people walk down this trail, see the walking line in the middle? Most people walk in the middle. I bet at the right times of year you could see some wildlife out here. They'd be coming across the trail. They'd be hiking too, you know. Yeah, other than the mile markers, I mean, there's really no need for arrows and trail markers. I mean, this trail, it's obvious. There's one service road that comes through approximately the middle of it. And other than that, I mean, it's pretty obvious where the trail is. No need for markers on trees or little tags or anything like that. I just was thinking, seeing this up here, another idea for them posts back there. They might have been going to be putting up like a little railing, or maybe another little, maybe one big bridge right there in the open area, you know, for like a stopping point. That may have been what them posts are for. Just thought about it and seen this. They might have, you know, who knows what they have plans to build there. This is a little bit bigger bridge, and in the middle of this bridge there's a bench on both sides where you could stop and take in the scenery. I can definitely understand this bridge being here. This little creek here is running underneath the bridge. Yeah. Comes down here to underneath the bridge. As you can see, it's got benches on both sides. There's a little creek going to the other side. Yeah. Just looks to be never ending. Be a good place for picture taking, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You'd think with all this water being around here, the other thing that another concern to have here in Florida, if you were to come here, you know, during the not so good time of year with all this water and wetland, you wouldn't even believe how many mosquitoes you'd see. We have sand gnats and what we call no-see-ums, and between the few of them, you'd be chewed up when you come out of here in the right time of year for them. They all love places of standing water and wet, marshy areas. And they really like it when there's humans walking through. I would imagine we're getting pretty close to our 3/4 of a mile marker, if there is one. I think it was only only the half a mile and 1 mile marker. So if there was a half a mile, 1 mile marker, I'm sure then we've seen the 1.5 mile marker. There probably won't be another one. We'll probably just come up at the end of the trail then. There hasn't been 1/4 mile markers. Lion City through there. all shady here. This through here, I imagine in the summertime when everything's really green, this is probably so dark right here, it's probably as close to nighttime as it gets during the day. All that wet marshland over there. Well, them vines taking advantage of all that water being there. There's vines over there, a couple of them bigger around my leg. There's another bridge here, kind of has a turn to it. It kind of goes to the right. And there's benches, 2 benches on it. Now this doesn't make sense here. If you wanted to walk through all of that, then there's a bench over there in the woods. You could sit there and look at this little creek that runs under here. There's benches made into the side of the little bridge here. There's a little creek. I don't know what that is. That's just be a stick sticking up. I bet there's frogs in there in the right time of year. Look at that. That stays wet year round. Another good place backdrop for pictures or some other shorter videos, or another place to sit and contemplate different things. Parks are generally open from 8 o'clock in the morning to sunset, in case you're wondering. You can drive up and park. You could walk to one if you were close enough. I don't know what the rule is on bicycles here, but as soft as it gets in places, I wouldn't suggest it. There is no bathrooms here, but once you come out of the trailhead, I would say inside of a mile, there's a couple of bathrooms. Well, here's our mile marker coming up here. This one says 2 miles. So now we have now gone 2 miles. So we should only have 1/10 of a mile left or so then. So if those signs are right and the one map is right, it should be 2.1 miles. .1 very enjoyable miles. Well, something really rooted it in right there. So if you're visiting Florida and you want to see some of the real Florida, something rooted all that up through there. Anyway, if you're visiting Florida and you want to see the real Florida, it's about as untouched as it gets, and you're into hiking or trail walking, bird watching, maybe you want a chance at seeing wildlife, I would highly suggest this trail. Very peaceful, clean, quiet. Fairly easy to walk. A few soft spots, but we got through them without no issues. Plenty of places to sit and rest. Plenty of backdrops for taking pictures. Plenty of places for birds. I'm sure there's a lot of birds out here, but just with us walking through here, we're making too much noise. But I imagine the bird watchers probably find them a place to sit, and they get real still and quiet, and they wait for that moment, for that right, just that right shot for a picture or video. Beautiful trees out here. Probably 50 different types of shrubbery and all kinds of vines and different types of grass. Marshland, fields. Of course, the overpopulated tree known as the palm tree, which is everywhere down here. That's a pretty big tree. Look at that. That is big. That, I'll walk over here and I'll show it to you. We'll see. I'm not sure what that little stand thing is. Must be something to attract birds. It's a birdhouse, yeah. Little birdhouse. Now I know what I've been seeing every so often. There's our little arrow pointing us in the right direction. This little stretch seems like more than 1/10 of a mile, don't it? It may just seem that way. It's kind of sunny right here. believe we're coming up on the end of the trail here. This is the end of the trailhead right here. It loops around and comes back to where we came in. Well, everybody, thank you for going along the trail with us. We hope you enjoyed it. As I said in the beginning, please leave suggestions and ideas, other places you'd like to see in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that little thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit that little notification bell. That way you get a little ding on that annoying phone of yours saying we uploaded another wonderful video that you can't wait to watch. Thank you for coming along with us. Hope you enjoyed. My name is Jeff. This is my wife Susan, and we will be uploading more videos soon. Hope you all enjoy and have a nice weekend.